Hey guys, good morning. How are we all going?
From the East Coast.
Hey Jess.
How's it going?
Good. It's been an interesting week to chart and trade. There's been a lot of the timings have been a little bit off. A few Q1 moves this week, but they're going well.
Moving though, for sure, from Q1.
It's played out really well, especially after last week's session where we talked about the internal to external to internal to external, and then just being able to refresh members with that at the start of the session yesterday.
Yeah,
Was,
absolutely. The 4 hour for that is looking so clean too. So wicked clean. Like the 1 hour, of course, looks great as a result, but the 4 hour is just so wicked clean for that internal to external play. So good.
Very nice. No sneaky raids or SBS again
Yes.
taking the high. Just that nice, clean market structure.
Yes, just good old fashioned order flow for once.
So I just want to start just with our current chart. I just quickly set up our chart at the moment, just because we do have another quarter 1 manipulation. So for people that are watching the chart at the moment, we do have this 1800 to 1900 window, which is the instat high of the day. Until we break and if we go above. So we can look at this zone at the moment. For plausible shorts, ideally I didn't want this to wick down here. I wanted that to sort of keep coming up, and then I was going to look for shorts here back to 2.5 and that 1.5. We'll see if we get a rate of this high. If it keeps going down, I'm not going to be interested because the profit levels already get hit. Is
Yeah,
anyone?
and tapping into that next zone.
Yeah. Is anyone short at the moment?
Drop a 2 if you're short right now. Everyone's waiting too long. Oh wait, people are short for real. Let's go.
So yeah, a little 5-minute SBS in here as well. But yeah, I didn't want this leg here to continue down.
It may definitely be an Asia high though, or I can see that happening for sure. Where it's just Asia either leaves that classic
Cryptic,
Monday.
Cryptic already passing evals. Good work, man.
Let's go.
So we can
Classic
do,
Monday high, Friday low.
yeah. It's a little bit tricky now with that double bottom and the SMT. That a little bit frustrating that it did that.
Yeah,
If we just did
but
the one swing and consolidated.
but still no market structure shift on the 1 hour for what it's worth, right? We inversed, and as soon as we inverse, we invalidated that inverse.
And then
So,
still got that 200 SMA just
ooh, okay, so even
grinding down
better.
as well.
Wow,
So
I can
VWAP
see it a lot better.
in here as
Yeah,
well.
sorry. Oh, great, even better. So yeah, kind of tricky. I did think initially after the first swing low, because it was a Q3 in the AM session, I did initially think that we were going higher after that, and then we did get the sweep of 79% with that second swing low. But there was no follow through after that, or just no expansion, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you pulled that fib from that low to that high, from the AM low to the high right before lunch, but it came back for 79%.
Very nice. This one in here, sorry. I was just replying to a
Yeah, no worries. Yep,
message.
exactly.
Yeah.
That high and that low. Yep, it came back to 79%. It didn't wick it. It actually bodied down and bodied back up, but it did come all the way back down to 79. It did come back to 50% of that down close candle, that last down close candle.
Very nice.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for joining, everyone. Hey, Stefan.
Actually, Stefan got the trade from 79%. he
Oh,
he took
legend.
the long from yeah, because that was the Q3 in the AM, right? So we were all waiting for, for those that backtest with me, we were waiting for OTE of that, and it sure did come back down to 79%. And I, of course, don't trade the PM session, so he got a piece of that though. Yeah, after the 4 hour candle, yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be within the same 4 hour candle. It can just be from that same framework, right? Because we can still enter. It's just that was just such a big zone. Like you had,
It's huge.
that was
Yeah.
really good conviction. Yeah, such a big zone.
So we can sort of scale it down when the swings are so big to that. We've got like that 1 minute swing
Mm-hmm.
in there. We can break it down smaller to try and tighten it up a little bit.
Saucy.
And then ICB in here as well.
Yeah, Frieden's entry was sick. I jumped on the stream to see where he was, and his entry was amazing.
Yeah, when you get Frieden confluence, especially
Yeah.
at key little swing points like that. Yeah.
Seriously, he's actually hopping on London tonight. I don't know if you're going to be on later on, but he's hopping on London
Look,
tonight.
I'll probably be having pizza and red wine, I think. We'll see. I've had a good week.
Yeah, same. I kicked it. Well, as you know, I kicked it off with a good trade, so I was like, I'm chilling for the rest of the week.
Yeah, you can just take it easy. Yeah. You get to work with the house money as well, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday night, it's kids' movie night, so like, if I can be done by London, it's good. And
Oh,
pizza one and
okay.
Lilo and Stitch or something. Yeah.
Live your best life.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's jump into some high time frame stuff. Okay, everything off. All right, let's have a look at the monthly and see how that's going. Turn off time and price here. So we're still, well above monthly open here.
For sure.
Still at that open low, high close. Pretty nice swing here. Basically, we're trying to work out at the moment if we are at that top for September and whether we just consolidate here or if we do come back and close around open or not.
Yeah, I'd also just be watching previous month's high, right? Like to see where we close in relation to previous month's high.
Similar to the end of the week, guys. If we reached our expansion already, we're going into consolidation after some expansion. We just want to be easy with your capital and your risk, and we want to hold on to that. If we've had a good month, we don't want to be giving back to the market towards the end. So if we drop down to the 6 hour now, and I've got this on, let me change charts again here. Take that one off. So the 6 hour is what I'm using at the moment for mapping the monthly. And I'll just put on the actual monthly candle. All right, here we go.
GRC says we close body above, guys. Yeah, I'm sure he's recording crypto.
Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah.
Ooh, that's spicy.
So we're getting on the 6 hour, we've got a swing fairly pattern here. which is interesting, which I want to fail, and we just keep hitting PDLs. But we
I
gotta,
want to fail.
we gotta watch it, right? Because it did close back in. If we draw a line across here, it did close back in the range, and we are respecting 50% of that, so we can have that on as a rectangle box as well, and watching to see if the candle closes respect 50% of this. We've come back into this one. So that was the swing failure pattern was a bit clearer on the 4 hour for that one. This candle here. All right, so he sweeps the lows, comes back in. We talked about this one last week, and then we go up to the high. So they're sort of stacking at the moment. So we'll draw that 6 hour one on as well, and that's our current, where we're currently bouncing from. Not quite 50%, but pretty nice. So we hit that SD 2.5 from this swing, which was made in Q1 of the month. So this is our current wick of the monthly candle. All right, just like on the 5 minute, we're looking for those manipulations to get the wick of the 4 hour. This is on the monthly, and I'm using the 6 and the 4 hour.
Clean. That's wicked clean.
Yeah. So I'll put on the TGIF settings basically, like we do with our weekly. And as we're coming to the end of the month, we can watch these levels here. So we've got 0.2 retracement, 0.3. Also got our OTE here. So from the main pivot swings, low to high. So coming back to the Jess special here at 7.9. And we can,
I like that it's also a sweep of the bodies to note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Look
that.
at that.
I love that a lot.
So wickless here. So we can watch these two up close candles on the 6 hour. This is our bearish order block at the moment. So, and this is where we've got that nice structure, right? So we're coming down, we break structure here, external range. We come back into the internal range on the H6. Internal range being that SIBI, fair value gap. And then we push down to our external range. So this was the trade for yesterday, or today for the people on the other side of the world. From here to down to PDL, down to the external range. But yeah, what's tricky now is that we've swept some levels. We closed back in the range here. We've swept that wickless there. And we're respecting this swing failure pattern at the moment. We're down into OTE. So we want to watch 50% of this wick here. And see what today does if we just consolidate, or if we continue and keep taking PDLs and invalidate this swing failure pattern.
Any predictions in the chat? What do you guys think is going to happen? How do we close the week? Friday low?
Smash that SFP. Whatever Cozy says. Yeah. And statistically, majority of the weeks, when they're expansion weeks, it's a Friday low or Friday high, right? So if we're coming down in a sell week, it's Monday high to Friday low, which means we can attack that low. And good so far, because we're coming back into that wick and working our way down. Got a plausible zone here that we can use. So once we get candle closes underneath here, then we can look for that retest into London and then hit that low. $393. 393 is down here. So back around this wick here, which is 50% of this. Yeah, taking out the low there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump on the 1 hour. remove some of my stuff.
I think personally we could possibly reach lower closing 50% of previous week, but not quite reaching for previous week's low
Oh,
to
yeah, let's look
leave
at
the weekly busy for next week.
Let's look at the
That's what I'm
weekly
thinking.
before I turn that on.
Just giving you I'm just giving you a hard time, guys.
All right, so we have our weekly. So you know, we're looking at the sort of the opposite here, right? So we break out external liquidity, come back, and we have a weekly internal liquidity here with our weekly
Yes.
busy. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm thinking close 50% of next week, but leave that weekly busy open to tap into during NFP
Yeah.
to create open low high close for next month.
Low of the week down here.
Open low high
Next
close.
week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Into an October, hey?
Yes. For Q4, bullish Q4.
So external range liquidity, we break out, getting a high in here, open low, high close, into next month.
GRC, he'll go over a daily review at some point right after we're done with a higher time frame, and I'm sure he'll go over his trade once he goes over the day.
All right, sorry, I was just looking at the chat as well. Close below up, close candle on the monthly. Yeah, so we've got that monthly open, which is around that sort of, that weekly busy as well. And previous week open. Sound is good. Has everyone been keeping up with Soy's SBSs in the chat? He's been smashing it for the last few weeks.
Sure has. He's always zoomed way in on his phone though, so it always like confuses me for a bit.
Yeah, especially if I need to correct him if he's got one swing wrong. We need so we need big widescreen.
He needs the flip. I don't know if he's iPhone or Android, but he needs a flip phone. The folding joints.
Big serious, yeah.
I think Cozy has one. A fold? Yeah. Guys, you guys can all hear us, right? I don't know if Soy's messing with us or Yerm is messing with us, but yes. Okay, everyone can hear. Good grief.
Alright, let's pop our 1 hour info on. It's starting to get a bit messy. It's almost time to clear this. I don't want to delete everything though, just because this has been so nice all month.
Yeah.
A lot of work, a lot of SBS.
I'm sure you have screenshots of this, right? Like plenty of screenshots of the whole month. Okay.
All right, so 1 hour, we've got this, so where we closed down here, so this down closed candle that created the swing here that made the high. That's our 1 hour zone at the moment that we've been working with this week to work out the weekly expansion. We had our break here on Tuesday. So we've got our high of the week. And I think ES swept there, didn't it? I think we had a SMT ES Tuesday. I can't remember. Oh, ES stayed under as well. Yeah. YM was the sweeper. So SMT with YM. And that high, that's what we normally want to see on NASDAQ, right? On a Monday or Tuesday. Instead of just this stuff and then it breaks down. Love seeing those clean manipulation swings. They're the best ones.
Just so obvious you can't miss it.
And then BPR in there. Short your shorts here. Yeah, YM been lagging. I watched it a few times this week, JRCT, and it's been there's been disparity in the market with on a few of the days with YM, ES, and NQ, which makes it a bit frustrating to try and get a good read. Yeah, ideally we want those nice pivots there to make it cleaner, whereas this makes it hard for until we've broken the lows, and mostly this low was what we've been watching. That Monday low to make sure this whole swing here is broken. Just to confirm then that we're going into that market maker sell model. Whereas if we'd had that clean pivot up here, it would have been a lot happier shorting here to push that down. A little bit of a key with YM there doing that. So we've got our Monday high of the week. And ideally, we're looking for a Friday low of the week. We've got our changing state delivery here. We come back and retest on Wednesday. So sell day Tuesday. Come back into this SIBI here. And sell off. And that's what, once we broke that, that's why I was so happy looking for sells yesterday for price to come back towards OTE. We hit EQ there, 0.5. Didn't quite get higher. And that was into so we had 6 hours CE of the SIBI, and then just filled the 1 hour and the 4 hour SIBI. If we pop that on here. But like, look at the respect of the SIBI high. It's like nobody closes above.
I think there's a 5-minute OB there too. From what I recall, not sure.
Yeah, the high. So
yeah,
5-minute and 15-minute was the one I was watching for the confirmation for the short.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep, that's where it was.
So down to SD 1.5, reaccumulation, which is going back into the internal range, and down to external range and smashing 2.5 and 3.5. So normally we're looking for that to sort of hit 2.5 and then come back up and then go down to 3.5. But that was a big sell-off. And can you guys notice when we're when we're in our sell weeks or buy weeks, like you're getting those expansions on the Wednesday and the Thursday are the main expansions. So that's the move I want to catch on the week. Maybe a little bit of the move up, but the main move I want is that leg.
Yes, Wednesday and Thursday, guys. Wednesday and Thursday. I hope you are listening.
Cozy been selling all week. Yes, that's good to hear. So yeah, now, the tricky part is now that we have expanded down to 3.5, we've got that bullish engulfing here on the 1 hour, and we did have SMT here with ES. Can you guys see the so this is our 20 SMA, and this is our 200 SMA. So we have flipped the 200 SMA, which is good for bearish continuation. And we'll just keep hitting that 20 on the 1 hour. So Friday's going to be interesting. And draw that low on here. And we'll put our weekly candle on. So Monday here, open. That becomes our wick so far of the weekly. Wednesday, Thursday, our body. And then we currently have this as our wick. But if we do take that, it'll be down here, ideally.
I mean, look at that solid body close through 2 and 2.5. So pretty interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, very nice.
Get that continuation to 4. Yeah.
And guys, while we keep taking PDLs during the week, best to keep targeting PDLs.
Yeah, until invalidation.
So we can do our OTE swing now from that high down to the current low. And then we can also put this candle on here, right? So we had our bearish engulfing, close below this candle. This is our current bearish order block here. And I'll draw that on as a box too. We can watch 50% of that as well. And that's around our OTE. 6.2. Not quite 7.9 on that move. So for bearish continuation, we want that open, high, low, close. And after we get the low, we can look at that TGIF as well, and which we would then draw on. So from the high of the week here down to wherever the low lands. And we flip this around now because we're in a sell week. And yeah, so wherever this low lands, if it gets back to 4 or 4.5, we can pop that on. And then maybe look for a bounce back to 0.2 if it's not super bearish and just comes down and consolidates. Otherwise, we leave that at the current low, which we've already retraced 30%. Just have a drink of water, guys. Any questions? Very clean 1 hour chat, 1 hour chart. Also have that CIBI in here. So external to internal, hit that CIBI. It's a good area to watch today as well. Went through it, come back, retest 50%. Yeah, cryptic. So this was hard here because we didn't get that clean break above, which is strange because there's so much liquidity built there for them to take. Exactly like we saw on YM, that's what we wanted there. But yeah, luckily some nice puzzle pieces building after. Still didn't sweep. Just going to set an alert on this. All right. If you guys are all happy with the 1 hour chart, we'll jump into our daily review. JS, why does your standard deviation level not starting at the small manipulation? Instead, it starts at the weekly low on the 1 hour. Let's have a look. Oh, do you mean this one here? So we had, so at the start of the week, and we get that Monday low. So we treat this as if it's a bullish week, right? And then we're looking for, if it's going to be a continuation up, we hit that 1.5, go into a re-accumulation, and then go up to 2.5 and 3.5. And we're using that swing on the 1 hour, the low. So that's the high that made the low. Because we didn't get another sweep here, otherwise we would use that. And that's the low that caused the breakout. That was responsible for that. Price comes back to mitigate it, and then it's unable to continue up. So for bullish continuation from here, we needed to close above, which I'd posted on back after Tuesday's close. Bullish, we were going to be bullish if we got closes above here, above this SIBI. And then this whole swing here, this is when it invalidated the bullish idea for the week. So we start with this at the start of the week. Then once we break this low here, we draw this one in, and then we're looking for that to be a plausible Monday high of the week. We're waiting for that break, which happens here. We draw it in. We have this zone on. We're expecting this zone to hold for a bullish week. And we're aware that we're towards the end of September, and we already hit that SD 2.5 on that 6 hour. So plausible high of the month here. We've then got our 1 hour swing. This is the low that made the high. And then we work with that. So it's all just building puzzle pieces as the week plays out. Yeah, no worries. All right. Doing our daily review. I'll just put the replay tool on, and then we can put the daily candle on as well. So we have our open high, low close candle, which is what we were looking for, right? So we had our PDH, PDL, drawn out OTE level of that swing, and then we're watching for price to come back into that internal range, and then we could attack PDL. That was the plan for the day. Played out nicely, just out of stat high of the day, which was a little bit frustrating. Would have been nicer with a higher manipulation swing coming into London Q3. I'll just put our 90-minute cycles on. So from the previous day, we'd had this swing up here from New York AM. We'd come down, we'd hit that SD 4.5. We had another swing here that we can measure. This was our Q3 from New York AM. And down to SD 2.5 from Q3. SD 1.5, SD 2.5. There's nothing, there wasn't a zone here to be able to measure for the way back up. So just looking at, we had our FRVP, our fixed range volume profile from this swing. So we knew most of the selling come in from here, which was during that Q3 of New York. So it was definitely watching this zone here for continuation of selling. and then this swing here as well, and this up close candle. So this part here was unmitigated. Price hadn't been back. So these longs that were in here need to be released for shorts, ideally creating that sell-off. So price just pushing up into Asia. So we have accumulation range here, building liquidity below, push out here, flip the BISI into our Asia Q3 high. So this is pushed up. We've got a IBISI in here. Just take off this volume profile. IBISI in here. And we have our 200 SMA here. So we're now into that order block. This has been mitigated already, and we're into this order block here, which was responsible for this move down. 200 SMA, we've now flipped in here. And I was starting to look for shorts on this IBISI. Ideally, we wanted that candle closes here to break structure. And we draw that on as a zone. This becomes our Asia Q3 manipulation. So I started first short here. So front running this change in state of delivery as we're at, we'd hit EQ. So we're above EQ, we're into premium of the daily swing. And we've got our 200 SMA here, and we're into that New York AM zone where this strong move down had happened. And we're at the high of the 1 hour CB and CE of the 6 hour CB. So this was actually 6 hour. I had this wrong on the chart. And that was here. Okay, so this was the CE here of the 6 hour. So a lot of confluence up around in this zone. I did still want to see it like a London Q3, but I didn't want to miss the sell-off if we were just mitigating orders here and price pushing off hard like it did. Yeah, because that's what I didn't understand the entry there, because normally you would wait for the break. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So lately, when we're extremely bullish or extremely bearish, I want to try and get, so this is what I call a high risk entry, right? I want to try and get a high risk entry to start just in case we get this strong move. Whereas in an ideal world, we would get that sweep of Asia high, clean break, and we can do our standard deviation pull from here. But there's been lots of times where I've missed these moves because I've been waiting for that, you know, into that clear high of the day time frame. The CSD we close under body wick, yeah. So which is where, so that's when I went in with funded accounts. I entered here on this up close candle. So I entered with evaluation account was here. And then funded accounts I entered here. Stop above the high. Yeah. And then once we broke down to here, we hit SD 1.5, stops to break even, and there's no risk at all then on the funded accounts, which worked out really nice. And then I staggered the funded accounts. So I had SD 4.5, NYPM low, because I had PDL as the main draw. So I got to stagger them here. So I was going for the max targets with them. I didn't you know, normally I talk about 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5, but I was really confident with that continuation. We had the PM low hadn't been hit, so that was the next liquidity level, and then PDL for the last account. Yeah, no worries, man. So we've got all this liquidity built up here. This is then what gave me confidence for the SD 4.5 plus the PM low. And liquidity built up here, which is what gave us this strong move here. What's my biggest RR trade? It's a good question. I mostly record in points. I don't get much over 100. Like 150 points was pretty big that I got from this whole move. But, you know, RRs normally sort of, you know, 3 or 4 to 1. Like this one was higher because we've got that nice tight entry up here, which is good if you can get the moves out of Asia, because you can get the tight RR basically, because your risk is so just a few points. Whereas when you get those large manipulation swings, you have such a big stop loss. You know, on the way down the SD levels, you're only sort of getting 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, 1.5 to 1 at SD 1.5. Yeah, my RR trade was with FTT. Oh my god. Yep, small risk, and I lost like 14 grand because they didn't pay me. But you know, yeah, like LMT and TPT had huge amounts compared to that. All right. So moving on, we come down. So then we get our break. We also have this swing here, right? This is a 15-minute swing. We can actually pull a deviation from that too. It'd be interesting to see where that hit. So 15-minute swing. Oh yeah, that's pretty much down to the PM low there. Quite nicely. So we break that and we go into an SBS here. Now this made it tricky, but we were bearish. We still had the PM low was untapped. So, and this was in that time window that can make a low of the day. So 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock time window. So we have our breakdown 1, 2, we get our 3 here. We're looking for sweeps of 2. I'm sorry, this would be here. Would be the correct one. So really, once we broke this main swing here, we get our 1, 2. As price comes down, we're still making 3, right? So 3 ends up being here because we didn't sweep 2. And that actually missed it there. This was the one I was watching though. 1, 2, come down 3. We do our OTE. We've got 705, 62 here. This is the area we want for continuation shorts. And this is a good example of a failed 5-minute change in state of delivery because we're bearish. So there's a few people that took the long here. We got in at the zone. We break above and push up. And a failed 5-minute change in state of delivery model is a bearish SBS. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will either sweep 4 or we get that lower high, which we had here, which was also into the BISI here. So inverted BISI holding the line there. Can you guys still hear me okay? Kittler can't hear. Yeah. Sweet. Try restarting. Interesting here then to see if we did get that sweep of this high on ES. Was anyone watching that at the time? Not quite. So we're like 1, 2. Very close. So we come back up, still respecting this inverted BC, and then we sell off. And when we, so when we're bullish, a lot of the time, when we're super bullish and we're having an expansion week, on the Wednesday and Thursday, a lot of the time you'll see price flip Asia high and continue up, right? It won't come back, it'll leave Asia low. So some people will try and short the beginning of the manipulation leg, and price comes back to Asia high, and that low swing is actually your manipulation, and then price pushes up and takes it. So if we're going, I'll draw this on. So say we're going like this for Asia coming up. We've got Asia low down here, Asia high here. We come into London, we push up. So then London Q3, we come back. We test Asia high here, and then we push up. Right, and then so same thing. We're looking. Some people are looking for this to be the manipulation, and we continue down to hit Asia low. But we're super bullish. It's a Wednesday expansion or Thursday expansion, and this swing here is actually the manipulation, and we want to get long from that. So the opposite of this is what we can look for when we're in a bearish week and we're getting the expansion the other way. So instead of Asia high, we're looking for Asia low to hold. So we have our Asia range. We have Asia low here. And then we break the low. We're into London Q3. We come up. We get a change in state delivery here. And we just come back and hit, Asia low, and then we continue down. So if this is Asia low here, I'll draw this down a bit further. This is why we always want to have the previous sessions on. And so then market makers like to make it look like this is a Q3 manipulation down to then push up and head to Asia high. But instead it becomes a bearish SBS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we come down. What times do you designate for Asia high and low to be made? So 2000 to midnight, 8 p.m. to midnight. I use the ICT kill zones for those. So at that time, we had Asia low. We also had that New York PM high, and we had that IBISI here. So we had a nice wall here. We've got the 200 SMA there. Have I got VWAP on? I think VWAP was there as well. Just can't see that because we got too much in there. It's not showing up. Not working for me for some reason. So yeah, lots of confluence here for this to continue. And invalidation would have been if we come up and flipped that BISI, which was part of the that manipulation swing up. 7:05. So we had OTE from this swing. And similar thing, right? So we're going external to internal to external on the lower time frame. Yeah, so London's 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock for London. I'll just post this in the chat. Yeah, no worries. All right, and then we get our expansion down. And nice continuation then into there. So 6 o'clock H4. This is really nice when it does this when you're already in a short. But it's just a quick open high. So we made the high of that 4 hour in the first quarter of the 4 hour. So if we break the 4 hour into 1 hour blocks, 7 o'clock is that first quarter. We made that high and then it's just straight down. We smashed PDL there. And happy days. So that's the main expansion leg for the day. And we hit our low coming into New York Q3. Get that change in state delivery here. And then back into the OTE that we're talking about at the start of the session. 0.79 here. And there was a 1 minute break in here that we could have drawn across to get a tighter risk if we were looking for this long. Yeah, all Standard Eastern Time. All New York time, which is UTC-4. That way we all use the same time, which is what ICT teaches as well. Then everything we show and talk about all resonates the same for everybody. I'll drop into the 1 minute and we can look at that low move as well if you want. And so that was the breakout there. We can draw a zone on for that. So when you do get those strong sort of V moves, always handy to then move down into that 1 minute. And we want to look at the fair value gap of the manipulation swing. We're looking for flips of that there as well, which is what I talk about with the 5 minute model. This becomes a higher risk entry. And then once you get that 5 minute break, that's normally your lower risk. Hi, Vivi. So I use Q3 in London, Q3 in New York. So I use the 90-minute cycles. Yeah, so all done in the indicator, which is you'll find it under the Kingline indicators. If someone in the chat is free, can they just copy the link to that and post it in the chat? So that's what's showing here. So this is all drawn on automatically as part of the indicator. And then JD uses the micro quarters, which are the smaller quarters within the 90-minute quarters. Very similar to JD, yes, except I'm using the 5 minute chart with the 90-minute quarters, correct. So same thing, we're looking for Q2 opens, TMSO, and then manipulation, ideally on the opposing side. So if we look at London, so we've got our Q2 open here. That's our TMSO. So true market session open. In Q2, we're looking for manipulation above that to continue down. So if you think about your quarters, if get rid of this. If I draw them out quickly, 1. So when we get our, so Q1, Q2 open, that becomes our TMSO. And if you think about using TMSO, just like we do with, say, a 1 hour, like a 1 hour open, low, high, close. So if we're bearish and we're coming down, we want to look for manipulation above that open. So TMSO stands for your true market session open, which is the open price of Q2. So we want manipulation above that, just like this is as if this was a 1 hour setup, right? We want the 1 hour candle to open high, low, close, and we want that expansion during Q3, Q4 to finish off that candle. It's the same thing. We're using TMSO, our Q2 open, and we're looking for manipulation above. If we can get an inverted fair value gap here, and we want to then short from there. You know, it all into an OTE here. We can use that swing as a zone. Everything overlaps, guys. You can do a standard deviation from that pool. So people that are trading with JD or doing this on the 1 minute, you can do it the same way. I'm doing it on the 5 minute. Can I list the hours I put for the different quarters? It's automatically done on the 90-minute cycles, man, in the indicator that Stefan's just put up. Does this all make sense for people that have been following my model? And then looking at it within those quarters with TMSA? It all overlaps, yeah. Tyson, I prefer to draw everything on manually. The standard deviation is a bit tricky because it's always, like the manipulation swing isn't always as clean as we like. Like if we just had this every 90-minute Q3 in London and New York, then we could program it to automatically just take this swing. But it's not clean every day like that. Yeah, so I use the 90 minutes. Yeah. I rarely use the micro ones, but I'm trading higher time frame and trying to catch these bigger swings. All relevant to time. Yeah. So then, yeah, the micros are just another 4 quarters within each of these quarters. So, you can stack it too. So if you're trying to get, Q3 into a micro Q3, you're sort of stacking confluence with the lower time frames if you want to drill down that much. Asia's grinding down nicely. All buying attempts just getting knocked down. respecting VWAP, respecting this 20 SMA, 200 SMA. Breaking below here now. Can I say that 1 minute ago? Do you mean the quarters? So the micro quarters, which JD is using, and a lot of members, is their 90-minute cycle quarters broken down into quarters. That's why he looks at them at key times. It's one of the other ones, like 1330. Yeah. So basically, so if you've got a manipulation, right, coming into a quarter 3 in the 90-minute cycle in London. So let's say this is 3 o'clock to 4:30, right? That's our quarter 3 90-minute cycle. And then if we put this into the micro quarters, and you get this swing here in the micro quarter Q3, and you zoom into a 1 minute chart, you know, you're then looking for the same fractal. Q3 and a Q3, inverted fair value gap. And if it plays out nicely and you can nail them, you can get like a super tight entry. You know, so we could have like a quarter 3 micro entry here into the 5 minute 90-minute cycle, and then we use the 90-minute cycle projections, and you end up with a huge R trade. Whereas on the 5 minute model, we're entering over here with a bigger stop loss. Oops. All right, so then, so into PM, have that swing back down to the 0.79, push up from there, back to PDL. And so yeah, when bearish, we want to have those previous sessions on to look for the resistance, which we see here. So Asia low, we continue down. I didn't have London low. London low was here. So look where we rejected from next, guys. So we come back up, hit London low, reject, continue down. And all that's doing, so if we look at this whole swing here, this up move is what caused this breakdown. Price is coming back. It's mitigating the longs here, which we use to manipulate price here to cause this breakdown. So we call this like a I call them manipulation zones, but price is coming back to mitigate them, and then you get the strong moves off them. No worries, Tony. So yeah, we always want to have those previous sessions on, and when in bearish order flow, we're looking for those lows to act as resistance for continuation. Sometimes it will go into 50% of that zone, you know, which would have been around here. Yeah, nice respect there. All right, I'll jump into our current chart setup again. We'll have a quick look, and then I'll end the stream there, guys. I'll turn off our PA3. So at our current daily chart setup, we've done fixed range volume profile from PDH to PDL. This is our main volume node in here, our point of control. Got that 200 SMA. And SBS didn't play out. We didn't get that sweep up to here. Otherwise, we'd been happy to short that. Back down to 1.5, 2.5 into this swing here. So we can get rid of that swing. Ideally, the next H4 we open. Respect this. It has built up some internal range liquidity there, though, that we need to watch for. Otherwise, we can use this as the next zone for price to then open up, continue down. Have I tried stacking FVG gaps or inverse gaps at key levels? Not really, Alex. I don't like, if there's, you'll see it, I guess, on the different time frames. Like I might have a 4-hour fair value gap on a chart, and then that may overlap with a 5-minute inverted fair value gap in a manipulation swing. Like in that way I do, and we're just stacking confluence levels. Which is pretty much what I had for yesterday's short, right? So we had the 4-hour CB, we had the 6-hour CBCE. We were into premium. It was almost 6.2. It wasn't quite the 6.2 retracement. And then they had 200 SMA there as well and VWAP. Everything stacked nicely. So PDL's the target, guys, until they're not. I want to be caution down here around that fixed range volume profile POC. Really like to see that, inversed for continuation down. We do have this zone and a 50% of that to watch. Ideally, we want it to be short from here. And we can get our stop to break even and just keep riding this down. Otherwise, I'm not really interested now unless we come back here in London and either take this high, give us a clean manipulation zone. We can then do our standard deviation pull from there and we can run with that for the day. So Asia high sweep. Break into our quarter 3. You can enter here and we target each of these levels. In the video with your guest, with Jess, the video where you explain the strategy, fortunately 3:30 a.m. late for me in Europe to watch your live stream. Is your entry method 5-minute change state of delivery and or IFVG after important sweep or high time frame swings? FVG in London, Asia, New York, session sweeps. Yeah, exactly, Tyson. So we, we're building confluence levels. So the best ones for London is we get the Asia high sweep and we get the breakdown. It's like an Asia high sweep into a fair value gap that caused this breakdown. Maybe CE, plus we got OTE levels over here. The session sweeps are always the best manipulations and the cleanest. So when if you're trading New York, you want to have the London levels on there, and ideally you get a London high sweep into a 5-minute change of state of delivery. Hey, Mike. Do I think PDH is out of the question? Yes, because I want to stay with that bearish expansion weak idea until it's invalidated, which PDH would invalidate the continuation down for a Friday low of the week. Yeah, correct. So if we we can do a 5-minute standard deviation from here, right? I mean, it is our current zone at the moment, but statistically, it's more common for a Friday low of the week than it is a Thursday low of the week. So I want this zone to fail here. You know, which if it fails, it would be like a higher time frame SBS if we go up in time frames. So if we look at this from the 15-minute, you know, we got our break below here. 1, 2, 3, 4, coming back to OTE. 5 and 6 takes the low. Bearish SBS is a failed 5-minute reversal model. Does that make sense? So we're just following along market structure. External to internal. One-hour CB. External into that internal range, which is the fair value gap. And ideally back to external. You know, if it's going to get invalidated, we can also watch this order block here, which is what's created that last low. And if we would flip that, that would become support and then push up. And this would become low of the week. Can I see price coming back up to OT before the sell? Possibly. Because ideally we want to, when you see the build up like this is all building up in a range liquidity. So ideally I want to see that get taken, JAS, into London, and that would then give us fuel to get the London sweep. And yeah, we can keep grabbing the swings that created the breakdowns. Draw them on, especially when they're in those quarter threes. So this whole swing here was quarter 3 p.m. Oops. So they manipulated price, New York PM Q3. Can do that swing from there as well on the 5-minute. Oh, this would be a 15-minute. You can see price coming down to the 4 there. That's where we've just touched here. Sorry, that was the London move. And that was where we hit that London low. So we're grabbing this swing. And this has just gone into this one here. We've got that IBC there as well. So it's very interesting PD arrays where we're rejecting from. Fairly clean. But for me to get a nice short on, I would like that we come back up to OTE. We sweep the internal range liquidity that's being built up at the moment. We get a change in state delivery here. Maybe sweep this. We have already swept that PM high though, because that come in at 130. Sorry, at 1600 here. So that's another good thing for Asia, right, guys? We look for the PM high sweep into the breakdown. And then you can normally target PM low. But yeah, I want to see that manipulation up here continue down. If it just keeps grinding down, you know, I'm not too interested in getting a trade today. I want to get shorts from up here and trade it to down here and get this leg. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope that answered quite a few questions. Make sure if you have any others, write them down and get them ready for the next stream. No worries. And yeah, keen to see how the rest of the day plays out. If we do get something like this into London, I'll pop it in the chat. No worries, guys. Turnaround, I'll probably have it ready tomorrow for the recording. Let it upload. The YouTube algorithm does better on the recordings if I upload them and then wait 24 hours before publishing. But yeah, I'll pop it in my channel and throw it in the chat as well. Cheers, guys. We'll see you in the next one.